This is Jack with your 4 facts on King Kong vs. Godzilla 1962. Number 1. There was a rumor started by Forrest J. Ackerman of Famous Monsters that Godzilla does not lose in the Japanese version. That's not true. I've seen the Japanese version, and Kong wins that fight too. Godzilla is the villain in both films. Kong was the more popular monster at the time, even in Japan. So, yeah, the ending is a little different as far as the shake, rattle, and roll, the earthquake type effect that their battle has under the water, but Kong is still the one leaving, going to Faroe Island. There's just no newscaster telling you about it. Number 2, Godzilla was the third choice for Kong's opponent. That's correct. Godzilla had 2 successful movies before this, but he was out of action for years. In between time, Rodan had made his screen debut, and he was actually going to be Kong's opponent. He was the second choice. What happened is this. Rodan had no arms, so they needed a villain with arms, and that would be Godzilla. Now, who was his first choice? When this idea first came out, Willis O'Brien wanted to do Frankenstein.
It's alive! Oh, it's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
No one picked it up. Eventually, Toho picks it up. Frankenstein is replaced. The Frankenstein monster, later on in a Toho film with Nick Adams called Frankenstein Conquers the World, where the monster grows giant, defeats Baragon in Baragon's first appearance. This is sometimes confused with Frankenstein battling Godzilla, but no, it's Baragon. And the monster is defeated in the Japanese version by a giant octopus who comes basically out of the water and across the hills in the mountains and grabs him and pulls him under the water. It is one of the weirdest endings ever, and unfortunately they cut it out and did not use it in the international cut. But if you get the Japanese cut, you get to see the great mountain octopus. Kind of reminiscent of the octopus that Kong takes down on Faroe Island. Number 3. This was the most successful Godzilla film of all time for about 50 years. It's often done as a midnight special showing all over the world, kind of like Batman 66, where people dress up like the different characters, or the famous Rocky Horror Picture Show. Number 4. Willis O'Brien wanted to use claymation for the effects, but it was way too expensive for Toho to do. There is a claymation scene where Godzilla karate kicks King Kong into a giant rock during the big smackdown. That's the only claymation you'll find in the film.
Good evening, fight fans. This is your favorite sports reporter, A Sockim, with your tale of the tape on Togo's King Kong from his 1962 heavyweight bout with the radioactive lizard king himself, Godzilla. Let's see how the King Scrapper of Faroe Island stacks up against the original Skull Island champ, King Kong from 1933. Classic Kong comes on strong at 20 tons and 25 feet tall. The Toho Slugger brought his game up to 148 feet, weighing in huge at 20,000 tons. Skull Island Scrapper was pure brute strength, combined with a serious fighting spirit. He demonstrates an ability to box and wrestle. The Titan of Toho demonstrates some judo flips, along with super strength and electricity absorption powers. He showed a taste for strong berry juice, which the Islanders used to control him. Toho's king had to step it up in weight class to be toe-to-toe with kaiju like Godzilla, while the 1933 version was more grounded and focused on emotional storytelling and visual innovation for its time. That's a wrap, sports fans. Be good to each other, or else.
Mr. Taco, head of Pacific Pharmaceuticals, is frustrated with the television shows his company is sponsoring and wants something to boost his ratings. When a doctor tells Taco about a giant monster he discovered on the small Faroe Island, Taco believes that it could be a brilliant idea to use the monster to gain publicity. Taco sends 2 men, Osamu Sakurai and Kintsuburō Furu, to find and bring back the monster. Meanwhile, the American nuclear submarine, Seahawk, gets caught in an iceberg. The iceberg collapses, unleashing Godzilla, who had been trapped within it since 1955. Godzilla destroys the submarine and makes his way towards Japan, attacking a military base as he journeys southward. On Faro Island, a gigantic octopus crawls ashore and attacks the native village in search of Faro-lactin juice, taken from the species of red berry native to the island. Then, a mysterious Faro monster, revealed to be King Kong, arrives and defeats the octopus. Kong drinks several vases full of the juice, while the islanders perform a ceremony, which causes him to fall asleep. Sakurai and Furu place Kong on a large raft and begin to transport him back to Japan. Mr. Tako arrives on a ship kept out of Japan. Meanwhile, Godzilla arrives in Japan and terrorizes the countryside. Kong wakes up and breaks free from the raft. Reaching the mainland, Kong confronts Godzilla and proceeds to throw giant rocks at him. However, Godzilla is not fazed by King Kong's rock attack and uses his heat ray to burn him. Kong retreats after realizing that he is not yet ready to take on Godzilla. The JSDF dig a large pit laden with explosives and poison gas and lure Godzilla into it, but Godzilla is unharmed. They next string up a barrier of power lines around the city filled with 1,000,000 volts of electricity, which proves effective against Godzilla. Kong approaches Tokyo and tears through the power lines, feeding off of the electricity, which seems to make him stronger. Kong then enters Tokyo and captures Sakurai's sister, Fumiko, taking her to the National Diet Building, which he then iconically scales. The JSDF launch capsules full of vaporized ferrolactin juice, which put Kong to sleep, allowing them to rescue Fumiko. The JSDF decide to transport Kong via balloons to Godzilla, in hopes that they will kill each other. The next morning, Kong is deployed by helicopter next to Godzilla at the summit of Mount Fuji, and the two engage in battle. Godzilla initially has the advantage, dazing Kong with a devastating dropkick and repeated tail blows to his head. Godzilla attempts to burn Kong to death by using his atomic breath to set fire to the foliage around Kong's body. A bolt of lightning from thunderclouds strikes Kong, reviving him and charging him up, and the battle resumes. Godzilla and King Kong fight their way down the mountain into Atami, where the two monsters destroy Atami Castle while trading blows, before falling off a cliff together into Sagami Bay. After a brief underwater battle, only Kong resurfaces from the water, and he swims back towards his home island. There is no sign of Godzilla, but the JSDF speculates that he may have survived.